All right, the plot was entertaining and well-paced. It included entertaining, oh God, start again.
I have something in my teeth?
Yeah, you have some lipstick on your tooth.
Which one?
It's gone now.
It's probably been there since the beginning. Anyway. I'm Cassandra.
I'm Denise.
And we are the Unobservant Observers. And in this episode, we're going to be giving you our review of The Secret Life of My Secretary.
Also known as I Loved You from the Beginning and How to Train Your Blind Boss.
Apparently. It's a romantic comedy written by Kim Jung and directed by Yi Kwan-young. It's starring Kim Young-kwang and Jin Ki-ju as the ambitious director at a mobile media company and the secretary willing to help him achieve his goals. Dominic is working towards becoming the chairman of his late father's company. He's a great businessman and really knows how to read people to the point where people call him the mind reader because it seems like he can read their mind just by looking at them. Dominic suffers a head injury that gives him face blindness, and he's no longer able to read people's expressions, and not knowing who to trust, he begins to rely mainly on his secretary. Jung Goody, his secretary, knows about Dominic's condition and unintentionally takes advantage of it when she impersonates another CEO by the name of Veronica Park and ends up going on a date with him. Oops.
This drama features three main tropes: rich boy, poor girl, love triangle, and mistaken identity.
So if you like any of those things, you may want to check this one out because it does it well. So for our reviews, we're going to be giving you a rating. It's somewhat arbitrary, but it'll always be out of 5. And we're going to give ourselves 30 seconds to explain why each, so we don't go crazy long. Denise?
I'm giving this drama a rating of 4 Kim Young-kwangs out of 5. The plot was entertaining and well-paced. It included comedic, mysterious, and moving moments in equal parts. The leads had great chemistry. It was a new and interesting take on a love triangle, and there was more than one romantic relationship. So it's definitely a must-watch, but it's not going into my top 10 dramas, even though I thought it might. Because while I loved the leads' dynamic and many of their moments in the first half of the drama, I loved them more in the first half than in the second half. And I don't know why.
Interesting. I'm gonna give this drama 4 smiling Kim Young-kwangs out of 5. I loved the writing. Everything was super well paced and made sense. There were no filler episodes, which I appreciated. All the characters had good motivations. They were clear and helped to drive the plot forward, to the point where if you break down the side characters, their like wants and objectives, it's almost like a subplot within itself. I loved how the main characters fell in love, especially Dominic, because it wasn't based on looks, because he literally couldn't see her face. So he loved her for her characteristics and who she was, and when she presented herself in a different way, it was the core characteristics that he was drawn to. For the second half of this video, we're gonna go into spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, please leave the video. We love you, but bye.
Okay, now we're gonna be discussing a little bit more in depth the characters in this drama, starting with the lead male character, Dominic. So Dominic is played by Kim Young-kwang. He's best known for his dramas The Guardians, Room Number 9, and the film On Your Wedding Day. I had seen him in The Guardians, so I already really liked him going into this drama, and he did not disappoint whatsoever. He did an excellent job with this character, sort of like balancing that playful and super sincere side with also, on the other side, a deep vulnerability and mistrust. It was just super entertaining and funny and moving. So yeah, I think he did an excellent job.
I felt for him because you knew he wasn't gonna deal deal well with the truth once it was revealed to him, but at the same time, he handled it maturely. His relationship with his doctor is also like a weird father-son relationship that's very entertaining. Next, we're going to be talking about Jang Gari. She's played by Jin Kuji, who you might know from Moon Lovers, Scarlet Heart, Splash Splash Love, and Come and Hug Me. Those are probably her most popular dramas. Maybe not Splash Splash Love, but I mentioned it because I like it. I think she did an amazing job in this. She was both very sweet and vulnerable, and I believed her. Like, I understood her motivations very clearly, and especially for one of the most pinnacle moments for that character, I find, is her decision to take advantage of her boss's face blindness and pretend to be Veronica Park. You could very easily dislike the character for doing something so terrible, but for her, you understood why she was doing it. It was because, like, literally the day before, he had just fired her after she had spent the past year working her ass off for him and going above and beyond as a secretary. She was by far the best secretary at the company. And he made it seem like it was a misunderstanding, but he made it seem like she was going to get that permanent position. So it's just like completely gutted. All her best efforts amount to nothing.
Yeah, I should mention that Dominique never kept a secretary for more than a year.
You understand why she would do something so selfish, because she doesn't do selfish things.
Veronica Park.
Yale.
Veronica Park Yale. She's the spoiled rich daughter and CEO of Cinepark Film Production Company. So Veronica Park is played by Kim Jae-kyung. Honestly, you likely won't recognize her because this is one of her first big roles in a drama. However, if you're a fan of the K-pop group Rainbow, you'll probably know her because she's a member and leader of that group. I think she did an excellent job with this role. She's so funny.
Yeah, her comedic timing is
excellent.
Beautiful.
And it was a difficult job because this role could have easily been annoying because she obviously and honestly did have like sort of annoying tendencies. So it was a very fine line, and she was able to keep herself on the good side of the line.
Yeah.
I was always laughing.
Yeah, I think it's also because her intention, she wasn't mean-spirited or a cruel person. She was selfish, but she was a good person, and that shone through.
Yeah.
Next we have Gi Dae-ju, who's Dominic's best friend from childhood. He's played by Koo Ja-sung, and to be honest, I found he was the weakest link.
I agree.
He's not a bad actor, and he did a good job with this character, but there is just something about him, it's very technical something, where it's like you could see the things weren't going all the way, like there was this wall that he was not bringing down as an actor, so there was a disconnect between himself and his character. Even though he did a good job, he could have done much better if he had just brought that wall down and allowed himself to be vulnerable and connected with the character more, and because I could see he was acting. Yeah. I could see his acting. Like, that's not...
Yeah, his character in itself is supposed to be sort of stiff and by the book anyway, but...
Yeah, he was stiff.
He himself was too stiff.
Yeah. Stiffness in the actor's body. Yeah. He doesn't quite know how to use his body yet.
Yeah.
This is one of his first big roles, so that might be why he's still kind of new to the game. He's not used to being in front of the camera yet.
Yeah.
So I'll just have to wait and see.
I think I really like the relationship between Veronica Park and his character.
A lot.
But I think I would have liked it even more if he had been able to sort of portray that character
a little bit better.
Like been able, a little bit more relaxed.
More natural.
Yeah, more natural. Especially as he got comfortable with Veronica Park. He still seemed very stiff.
Well, that's again because it wasn't a character choice. It was him as an actor
being stiff. Moving on to the plot.
There are three main plots in this story. The first one obviously being Dominic suffering the face blindness and needing to rely on Jang Gari, and then Jang Gari pretending to be Veronica Park. The second B plot was Veronica Park and her relationship with Gi Dae-ju and wanting to be with him. And the C plot was the underlying mystery of what was on the USB, why are people trying to kill Dominic over this USB?
Yeah.
What does the file mean once we finally found what was on it, and who was behind everything?
The USB is what Dominic is attacked for at the beginning of the drama, which leads to his face blindness.
Yeah, so it's like a catalyst. Denise talked about this when she was saying why she liked this drama. The pacing was excellent. Again, no filler episodes. The conflicts all made sense. Nothing felt like it came out of nowhere. And the resolutions also were handled really well, I think. There was one, I feel like the secretary's storyline resolution was a bit messy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like all those people would have been fired. I mean they got through the actions of Dominic and Jang-gari, their jobs were saved, and I guess that sort of makes sense, but I feel like the lead person should have been fired.
Yeah.
There's no way to save her job. I mean, she orchestrated the entire thing. You
Yeah.
could maybe write off all the other people getting pulled into it, but her, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, those are loose ends. For me, the thing I liked a lot about the drama was that he was actually already in love with Jang-gari before the drama starts, actually.
Yeah, because he's known her for a year, I accept it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't usually like pre-established sort of love. I like to see the fall, but in this case, I really enjoyed it.
And it's also, again, because he wasn't aware
It
of
was, yeah, exactly. So he discovered it. So
Yeah.
it was sort of watching a discovery of love rather than
a fall
in love. I liked that it wasn't a true love triangle.
Yes, the love triangle in this was so unique.
I did not like the portrayal of, or I should say, the portrayal of face blindness wasn't accurate. So I didn't have anything against it myself, but
Yeah,
I'm sure that people who have face blindness are like, what?
Well, no, because I did actually read a review with someone who had face blindness,
Yeah.
and they were just like, "I'm enjoying this immensely." One thing, this is not accurate, but they were enjoying it.
Yeah.
So,
Because it's more apparently obviously you can see the face.
and you can read their features, like you can read their emotion on their features and stuff.
You
Obviously,
just don't
wouldn't be able to
recognize them. You don't recognize.
Yeah.
You can't put a face to a name.
And more to the point of the emotional aspects where it's like I can't read the emotions on the person's face obviously is very inaccurate, because otherwise people who have face blindness wouldn't enjoy watching movies and TV shows because they would get nothing out of the experience. So
I also didn't think the portrayal of the driver character, the person who's after the USB and attacks Dominique several times, I didn't really think he would be that extreme, especially his representation, the way they wrote him in the drama. He didn't seem capable of that.
well, anyone is capable of anything,
Yeah, but
the circumstances have to be correct.
and I don't think they were in this case.
No, I feel like maybe I agree with you. I mean, the way they wrote it is that he's just so grateful to, I can never remember her name, but the queen of the secretaries.
Yeah.
He's so grateful to her for basically paying off his hospital bills, which would have had him in debt for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
That he's like, I'm willing to do absolutely anything for you.
Yeah.
But this is not the Joseon period, and I just don't buy it.
Yeah.
To that extreme.
Especially as his relationship continued to grow with Dominique.
And Jang-gari.
Yeah, he would be like, why, these people are so
Nice.
kind, why am I doing this to them? It didn't make sense. And it also didn't make sense that the head secretary woman would involve so many people in her fraud workman's compensation scheme.
Yeah.
Like, you would, if you're doing something like that, you would maybe involve 2-3 people tops, not like the whole department.
Yeah.
Minus Jang-gari.
Yeah.
She's the only one who didn't know.
one who didn't know. Yeah, it's a bit, when I'm not speaking from personal experience, but if you're gonna commit a crime, you want as few people to know about it as possible.
Yeah.
It's just common sense.
Yeah. My final sort of criticism of the drama and sort of the loose ends thing that we mentioned earlier was the uncle who is trying to take over the company as well in opposition to Dominique. I kind of didn't like the way they ended that, it didn't make sense. I don't think he would have given up even after Gi Dae-ju took over.
Yeah.
He was the type of personality who wasn't gonna walk off into the sunset. He was too schemy.
Yeah,
so
true.
he was all at the end of the drama, he was like, oh, but no, let me wander off into the sunset with this other random board member. Well, we're gonna go vacationing in Cuba.
Either Mr. Yi or Mr. Park. But yeah.
I was like, what? I enjoyed it. Like, I enjoyed it.
Because it was a callback to an earlier joke.
So it was funny, but I was like, yeah, it didn't make sense logically for the character.
But maybe it's his age. He's like, you know what?
I'm tired.
This is a young man's game. I'm done.
My favorite moment in the drama is the moment, I'm gonna say, do we know what that thing is called again?
Oh, it was like an excavator.
Yeah, an excavator arm. The arm part. Dominique and Jang Gari are standing under it because it's pouring rain, and I really like the way they shot this moment. It's raining and they have the raindrops in slow motion, so very, very, like, you can see them. It's very, very pretty, but it also puts emphasis on Dominique's focus at that time, which is on Jang Gari's face, and he hasn't seen her face for
a while.
I'm assuming at least several weeks, because we don't have an accurate timeline, but I assume it's been a few weeks. And he's just super focused on her face, and he's looking at her with such a look of adoration and love, and he says in Korean, long time no see. And it's such a cute moment, so sweet. Yeah, that's my favorite moment.
My favorite moment, and even though it kind of goes right into one of our complaints about the representation of face blindness, but I just really appreciated this moment, even if it's completely inaccurate of how face blindness works, is the moment he realizes that he can't actually read Jang Gari's expression. Even though he feels he can see her, he can't see her. And that's when Gi Dae-ju is in the hotel room when they're preparing for the summit. I'm just gonna call it summit. And he's like, wow, she looks terrible. He's like, what have you guys been doing? What have you been putting her through for 2 weeks? She looks like walking death. And then Dominique's like, what? And then he immediately goes alpha male and sends her out of the room and forces her to get some rest. But it's such a nice moment, and it leads straight into Gi Dae-ju calling Dominique out on his feelings that he's completely unaware of, which I always appreciated in this drama specifically, because even though secondary characters will notice something, most of the time they won't say anything.
Yeah, usually they're like,
or they'll just be like, but they won't say, it's like, you like this person. He was just like straight up, you like her. I really appreciated every time you did that.
One thing we would change.
I know exactly what I would change. This is the one thing that really, I was like, if only they had done this, I feel like this would be so much stronger of a show. There's a relationship between Dominique and his mother, because at the end of the show, she decides to accept him and try to be a better mother to him. But it's completely unearned on her end. Like, he calls her out about it and basically is like, oh, you know, you don't even know that I'm allergic to peanuts. And she's like, how should I know that? It's like, oh, I've mentioned it several times. And then after that, she's like a good mother.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna try. And I'm just like, what? Why?
There's no
Especially
reason.
on his end, thinking about it too, because he's technically failed her in every way.
Yeah.
In the last
in what she wanted,
the expectations she had for him in the last recent history, like he
marrying Veronica Park.
Yeah, he didn't marry Veronica Park. He didn't become CEO of the company.
Yeah.
So those are the two goals that she wanted him to achieve, and she's like, if you do these things, then maybe I'll accept you. He didn't, and then she's like, oh, I accept you. I was like, with your personality that you've had all this time.
Yeah.
So I would have had it, I think you mentioned this, we talked about it earlier, where it's like throughout the series, he's so kind to her. I would want to see her soften up towards him.
Yeah.
Even though obviously he's been like that his entire
Her life, so what if you think would have happened already?
But I would have accepted it. It's
Yeah.
just like a softening throughout the series, just seeing that, and then it'd be like, okay. And then he confronts her with the peanut stuff.
Yeah.
And then she's like, damn, I've been really shitty.
Yeah.
That would have worked.
Or they could have just not had her change at all. That was the other option if you're going to have that character.
But then I would want Dominic to be like, you know what, I'm okay with never getting your love.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
let's just move on with
With
our
their
lives.
Exactly.
I'm gonna stop pretending we're a happy family.
Yeah. The one moment I would change is that Scene receives that phone call saying that both Veronica Park and Zhang Gari have been brought to the emergency room, so they've been injured. And he goes running off to the hospital. He hesitates when he gets to the hospital. If I could change anything, I would want him to run straight to Zhang Gari without hesitation, sort of instinctively.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even have to think about it. And that was kind of the moment of realization for him.
Yeah.
If that's the moment I would change in the drama if I could.
Yeah, the way they have it, it's more of a deliberation and a choice, which is fine, I guess, technically.
Yeah.
But I would have liked it more instinctual reaction.
I would have found that more romantic. And also, I think, given that he does love her, like, and he has loved her, it would have been more instinctual at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I would have preferred.
And that's been our review of The Secret Life of My Secretary. I hope you guys enjoyed it. What was your favorite moment from the drama? And who was your favorite character, if you had one? Please leave it in the comments below, let us know. And until next time, Drama del Payo!